We have a great question here that we
Yeah.
can talk about before we get into the topics of the day. Um, Althea, I hope I'm saying that right. I have a play tonight. I have a tendency to go brain dead, even though I learn my lines. How do you get past the nerves? Well, first of all, congratulations. You got
Yeah.
to play tonight. That's huge.
Break
Back on
legs.
stage. Back on
You're gonna
stage.
crush it.
Um, yeah, a few things. Maybe I'll go first, Brandon, and then you can add in anything.
Yep.
One thing I would say is remember that old adage. I don't know who said it. It might have been Michael Jordan. We love sports analogies. Michael Jordan, maybe it's a Gretzky thing. But practice like you play. So
Mhm.
rehearse like it's a show, which requires much more focus and concentration and relaxation and imagination. So make your rehearsals as close to game day. Also, I've heard that the quote is some people rehearse or practice until they get it right. Other people rehearse and practice until they can't get it wrong. So some of those nerves, sometimes nerves are a signal that our brain gives us that we maybe aren't quite prepped as much. So I know you said you'd learn your lines, but maybe some of those nerves are there. Could you have spent an extra day or two or more? Like, how many times did you do it? And I think we all underestimate how much it takes. And the answer is it's probably never enough. You could always rehearse it more and do it more. Um, competence breeds competence. Competence breeds confidence. So the more you've done it, the more you can relax, and then the more you can just be playing, knowing that it's in you. And then the other thing I would say, Althea, is really monitor your own internal self-talk. This is where things like meditation can come in really handy. Affirmations. If you're familiar with Linklater technique and or some of the Alexander techniques of relaxation, a lot of the times those nerves are there regardless because it's just your own lizard brain in your head recognizing a fear and starting to chatter about, oh, what if I forget my lines? What if I blank on stage? What if I can't remember something? What if I screw up? What if? And then all of a sudden you realize, like, oh, my heart's pounding. I'm breathing shallow. That's another thing. Work on your breathing. So backstage, make sure you're doing full warm ups and roll downs and maybe a floor routine. Your breath is your connection to your voice and your connection to your emotion, and breathing instantly deep breaths relax you. But monitor that self-talk. So like and that's tough because a lot of the times we just accept what our internal voice says, and a lot of the times it's saying shit that doesn't help us. But take control of that self-talk and then switch it to positive. Tonight's going to be a great show. I'm super well rehearsed and I'm going to crush it. And even if I do drop a line, I'm such a great improviser that will find a brilliant moment. And this crowd is going to love the show. You can be like sports, almost like the Olympics, like a skier. They're visualizing every turn and every jump, and they're visualizing themselves at the end of the routine getting the 10.0s from the judge and getting the standing O. So if you find a little mental routine in like backstage or whenever it is, a half an hour before, that involves your breath work and your body work and your stretching and relaxation, but then just really tuning in on what are the positive thoughts and feelings that you want to feel, and you'll all of a sudden you'll feel your body relaxing. And I mean, if you drop a line, you drop a line. No one's ever died because of that too. So it's like worst case scenario. Like that's also part of what makes it thrilling and exciting is you never know what's going to happen on any given night. And it might not even be you. It might be your scene partner. They skip ahead or they drop something, and then you got to be the one to save the day and steer the ship. Also, one of my director mentors way back in the day was he just reminded me that it's not really it's obviously the lines are important to tell the story, but each scene you got to know the overarching thing of, okay, what is this scene about? What am I doing in this scene? What am I fighting for? What do I want? that way, if you know that, even if a line or two gets dropped or somebody misses a cue, you still know going into this scene, this is what I gotta get. This is what I gotta do. If you have certain actions or some certain blocking, you can use those as like checkpoints throughout the scene or throughout the show as well. So hopefully some of that helps. But I think a lot of those nerves, notice when you're feeling those nerves, notice the thoughts you're thinking, like, oh my God, will I forget a line? Oh, are they gonna like me? Oh, there's a lot of people out there. Is this gonna go well? Did I rehearse enough? Do I really know this? And all that, like catastrophizing, versus just switch it and be like, you know what, I got this. I'm well rehearsed. I'm well prepared. I'm gonna nail it. I can rely on my scene partners. We're a team. The audience doesn't know the lines. Like no one in the audience has got the script being like, hey, wait a second. So it's just relax, concentrate, and then use your imagination. It's supposed to be play, right? So remember, it's as Tom Todoroff always says, it's called a play. It's not called a serious. It's called a play. So it's supposed to be fun.
It is.
That help, Althea? Let us know if any of that helps. Brandon, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, the first thing I always do, Athea, when I go to the theater is I create a relationship with the stage. I do that by sitting in the audience for the first 15 or 20 minutes of getting there and either listening to a couple of my favorite songs or just sitting there in silence and just running the show in my mind. I listen to music and I just visually in my mind watch the show as it goes on. I see the cues, I see myself coming out of the wings, and I hit my mark, and I go back and I just run through the show in my mind. And when I'm standing in the wings and the show's already going, I take 3 deep breaths, smile, and walk out there. Trust yourself. You can do this. Break a leg tonight. Have so much fun. That's what it's all about. I love that quote from Tom. It's a play. It's not a serious. So go have some fun. That's what it's all about.
Yes, congrats.
Yeah. And I love the point that you said, Lars. You're with a team, Athea. You're with a team of actors, and they're there to support you. They've been supporting you throughout the entire rehearsal process. They care about you. They love you. They want to see you succeed. So remember that. Remember that they're there for you.
Right. Yeah. And Tom, our one of our acting coaches often mentions know your own nervous system too. So if you find you're getting nerves, then you might look at your rehearsal process. And maybe for some people, maybe that means they need to rehearse more and they need to work more on their lines. So that, like, if you think here's where you are, then double that or triple it, and then see how your body and your nerves feel. And then that's even backstage, doing your breath work, doing your relaxation, doing some kind of meditation / visualization, paying attention to the words. So at some point in the future, I'll find them, but there's a few, spacing on her name, but there's an acting coach who's put out some meditation / affirmation visualization, and it's her in your ear, but walking you through the positive feelings and positive affirmations and visualizations that you want to have pre-show or backstage, that kind of thing. So yeah.